Namaskaram, hello, welcome to Cinephile India. In this video, we are discussing a new Tamil movie called Vidaamuyarchi, starring Ajith Kumar, Trisha, Krishnan, Arjun, and Regina, Cassandra, and other bunch of actors, written and directed by Magil Tirumeni. This, I didn't know, but this apparently is a remake of a 1997 American thriller movie called Breakdown. I haven't watched the original, so I don't know. I cannot compare with the original. Let's talk about this movie as it is. How is it? To simply put, I think this, given the canvas of this movie, this was a well made movie. However, I just felt for a thriller to have its impact, this needed little bit more twist, much bigger twist than what they actually showed in the movie. There were no surprising or thrilling elements enough to keep me engaged. Yes, it was good watch. It was well made. However, from a thriller point of view, it needed much more. Now let's get into the details. Before I get into the details, if the first time if you're watching the video on my channel, please do consider subscribing. And if you like the movie or like the video, please do like the video and help my channel grow. Now, get into the details. So, Vidaamuyarchi is about the story of Arjun and Kayal, played by Ajith and Trisha respectively, who decide to go on a last road trip before their divorce. Now, the entire movie was shot in Azerbaijan, so it was completely barren. The cinematography by Om Prakash was done really well to capture the barrenness and the emptiness of the landscape, signifying the emptiness in their lives because they are about to get divorced and their marriage is a failure after 12 years. So I think symbolically it was done really well. I like that. Now, along the journey, it so happens that Kayal gets kidnapped. Now, it is Arjun's job now to find out who kidnapped Kayal and how to rescue her, and will he rescue her or not. The movie was predictable. We all know what's going to happen in the end. However, there are enough twists and surprises in the first half that kept me engaged all the way through. I thought this is going to be a really good action thriller, given the scope and the tight canvas it has, because the entire movie happens along one day. From morning to maybe night, I guess, is just one full day along a road trip with limited number of characters and with limited number of dialogue even to push the story forward. Given the scope and the canvas of the movie, writer-director Magil Tirumeni did a tremendous job in keeping you engaged from start to finish. However, as I said in the synopsis, this movie needed bigger surprises. The surprises that you see, they run out in the first half, and the second half becomes a regular action movie. You know exactly what is going to happen next, and you are able to predict exactly what is going to happen next and even how. Now, this is where I thought editing could have been slightly better, because for the villains in the movie, they show who they are and why they are committing these crimes. However, it would have helped me to hook on to the villains or even the hero to kind of connect with their emotions and actions a little bit better had Magil Tirumeni shown a little bit more about the modus operandi of the villains. They do explain it in the end. It was almost felt like a lip service on their modus operandi. It was just a one-line dialogue. However, instead of showing the procedural of how Arjun finds out the culprit, the kidnapper, and how he finds out the location where they were hiding Kayal, it felt like a little bit of a chore, and there were some unnecessary characters, unnecessary scenes and dialogue in there here and there. Given the little dialogue, there was still some unnecessary dialogue which I felt could have been chopped off in the editing room, and then instead they would have shown us the villain side of things a little bit. So there is some connectivity going on. So the part that was missing for me was, how did the villains end up getting everything that they did, right? I mean, because given the back history that we show, somewhere there was a disconnect to me in the movie. That is a part where I felt if they had shot the footage, I'm sure they probably have, that should have been part of the final edit, not what we saw in the theater. And another thing I loved about the movie is Anirudh's music. I know I said in the past that Anirudh's music has been getting extremely repetitive with the same techno trance beat, and that he reuses for every movie. However, there is still that techno trance beat in this movie as well. However, the way he uses it, mixing rap in it and using that as a background when an action scene is going on, I thought it was really well done. That was slightly innovative from Anirudh, coming off of other movies recently, which was basically boring for me from a music point of view. This movie, Anirudh had done a really good job. I think for an action thriller with a limited scope like this, the music has kept the interest levels high, and despite the movie being predictable. Now the actors, Ajith as Arjun and Trisha, who gets a limited scope, is basically a flower pot. But Ajith as Arjun has done a really good job. I almost felt like this movie was tailor-made for him. The way he portrayed the role of a husband who loves his wife, who is reluctant to give divorce, at the same time who is trying to find out where the kidnappers hid his wife Kyle. He did a very, very, very controlled complex emotions, and he did a really good job. I think this is a good comeback film for him, especially after the last three movies did not do well. Valimai and Tunivu, and I forget what the other one. All the three movies didn't work for me as well, but this movie felt like it was tailor-made for him. So I think for him it's a really good movie. And as usual, Arjun with his martial arts background and the stunts, he was really good in the action sequences. And Regina, Cassandra, even with the limited scope, did her role really well. So overall, for me, it was a good watch. As I said, I did feel to increase the effectiveness of the suspense and the thriller in the thrill factor in the movie. I did feel there was a need for a little bit bigger surprise or a bigger thrill moments in the movie. That was missing, unfortunately. I don't know if this stayed faithful to the original movie, American movie breakdown, but if it did, then probably the source material was not good enough, let's say. But if it did deviate from the original, then I would say they did a really bad job at adopting the original. So that's it for this review. Hope you like it. And if you like this video, please do like and comment below how you like the movie. If you have watched the movie, and if this is the first time you're watching a video on my channel, please do consider subscribing. I'll meet you again in the next video. Until then, take care.